obviously, listen, you're very well known for building around the lines and the trenches and making sure that that's taken care of. And yet you're also now the same executive and general manager that has extended the 2 wide receivers on your team with generationally enriching contracts, including another for A.J. Brown right at the outset of the draft. And then Saquon, in a world where running backs are supposed to be just, 6th, 7th rounders, not guys that you pay top of the market. What's your philosophy on all of that, Howie, writ large, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I think that the most important thing is you started with. We start with the lines. And when you look at our offensive line to start, you look at Jordan Mailata, who we also extended this offseason, Landon Dickerson, who we also extended this offseason. We took Cam Jurgens in the 2nd round to go play center. Last year at the top of the 3rd round, we took Tyler Steen. We extended Lane Johnson last year as well. And then we drafted 2 guys, and we had signed a couple of guys in free agency and as futures that we have a lot of faith in. And we extended our other tackle, Fred Johnson. And today, not breaking any news, but we have another offensive lineman in the building, former 1st-round pick, Mekhi Becton. So it's really important to us. And then you look on the defensive line, and obviously our last 2 first-round picks were defensive tackles. We also have Milton Williams, who was a 3rd-round pick. We have a bunch of young guys inside. And then you look at our edge rushers. We signed Bryce Huff as a free agent. We drafted Nolan Smith in the 1st round last year. We re-signed Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham. We drafted a guy in the 3rd round. We have a bunch of young players at that position we like as well. So I think it starts there, and us being able to do a lot of the things that we were doing this year started because of all the resources we put on the offensive defensive line. And then adding those 2 guys back and extending AJ and Devontae, who we think, are the best 2 receiver tandem in the league. Obviously, we're biased. There's a lot of good ones, but that's how we feel about those guys. And then Saquon, you mentioned, and I think for us, we thought this was an elite player and an elite person. And we have always felt a little bit differently about the running back position here and how important it is. You're talking about a guy who, should get 300 touches. Who's going to touch the ball 300 times. He's a special player. We had done that before. Me, when I was the personnel director, we had done it with Brian Westbrook. When I was the GM, we did it with LaShawn McCoy. So we think it's an important position, and obviously we think this guy is a special player.
300, huh? That'd be a heck of a number of touches. That's essentially the plan going into the season. Saquon 300 touches, and Jalen can figure out the rest after all of that, right?
Are you holding me to something?
No,
You're going to get me in trouble with our coaches.
I don't mean to get in. I just
well,
love
when you look at the history of running backs, I don't think 300 touches is a big number when you talk about rushes and receptions.
Right.
But yeah, certainly I think you want the ball in his hands, and we got a lot of playmakers. We didn't even mention Dallas Goedert or a couple of the guys we got in this draft. So we're excited.
Yeah,
we're excited. Obviously, we got a long way to go.
Yeah, Will Shipley. No, listen, man, Saquon's one of my favorites, and I pound this table all the time. Running backs, so many people think, you don't have to pay him. You don't have to pay him. And then they're the most important players that you have to lean on when games get tough, 4th quarter, weather gets rough. January comes around, February comes around. That's it. That's the end of the story for these guys.
And they're touching the ball more than any player other than the center and the quarterback on offense.
Pretty much. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.